This is a topic near and dear to a lot of people. I know, especially anyone who watches Amy, spelt AMYEC3. If you want to check out her channel, she's constantly advocating for housing for all, and this is very, very important when it comes to housing for all. We talk about homelessness in America. Does it exist? What is homelessness in America? I mean, based on this image that you see before you, you probably think it's not really a problem, or it's joyful. It's a happy time. Everyone's enjoying themselves. One of the greatest metrics to measure whether or not capitalism is working is homelessness, because at the end of the day, homelessness as a root problem really means, like, let's be totally honest, no one chooses to be homeless. As much as you want to hear the argument, it's a you problem, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, come on, do better, you stupid poors, all those kind of problems, at the end of the day, no one actually wants to be homeless. No one living on the streets wants to be doing that. So a really good barometer as to whether or not capitalism is working is, are you able to earn enough money from your job, say, in order to pay for your various necessities? And if you can pay for those necessities, do you then have a surplus to buy other things? And there's some things that I think everyone would agree with are bare minimums. One of them is a roof above your head, probably nice bowl of warm soup. I don't know what humans consume. Clearly, I consume other things than carbon to get my nutrition. But anyways, the consensus has been for a while, especially if we listen to neoliberals. Capitalism has been one of the greatest economic systems, better than any system that came before it, and it has lifted more people out of poverty than any economic system in human history. And it created the middle class, the beautiful middle class, that beautiful burgeoning class of people that can buy all the transistor radios and record players and whatever it is Cornpot Joe thinks that the kids are into these days. So, capitalism cures homelessness. We've gone from this to this. That's right. And it's almost instantaneous. It's gradual, it's instantaneous, and it's a beautiful thing. So, here's some fun stuff that I found out. In the last 30 years, how have things changed? How have things changed for the average American? There was a study done by Adam Levitin. He's a professor of law at Georgetown University, who looked at a handful of things in terms of what has happened and changed in the last 30 years. So this is for everybody here. In the last 30 years, the median income of American families, and this is adjusted for inflation, so in the past 30 years, how much has it gone up? How much has the median income of the average American gone up? Turns out, it's 14%. Oh yeah, 14%, baby. That's big. It's big. Got a 14% increase. That means you have 14% more purchasing power, 14% more ability to do whatever you want with your money. In the last 30 years, it's gone up by 14%. Amazing. And now, in that same amount of time, how much has the average cost of a house, buying a house? Because, us millennials, we got charged with the fact that, apparently we hate avocados and we cancel things all the time, and we don't have enough righteous sex, and we enjoy, strange things too much Pepto-Bismol, stuff of that nature. But how much has the cost of housing increased in that same time? It's gone up by 290%. So while your purchasing power, your ability to buy goods or, say, purchase a home has increased, or in my opinion, stagnated at 14%, the cost of buying the same houses in that 30 years time has changed by 290%. But that's okay. That's okay. These these metrics can be confusing. Let's look at something else, okay? How about the cost of public college? Public college, not an expensive private tuition college. I'm talking public college. How much is the cost of a public college or university cost? How much has that price increased? Because obviously, if you're a good parent, you want your kids to go to school, right? So how much has that increased? 311%. Which is a little shocking, because yeah, if you want to have a good life and you want your children to go to school, but your average income is only increased by 14%, but the increased costs of education, well, okay, that's fine. Let's look at one last metric. The per capita personal cost of healthcare. This one surely has gone incommensurate with the 14% increase, and no, unfortunately, that one has that one's increased by 51% as well. So, yeah, if we look here, we'll save the one for a little bit. It's unfortunate it's unfortunate because this is a very, very telling, easy to understand, anyone can take this in, way of explaining the fact that as wages have stagnated, the costs of living have increased dramatically. I haven't even spoken about the cost of rent, which has also increased by very, very similar amounts. So, I'll just pull this up here. How bad is homelessness in America? By design, you would think that these trends hopefully are changing though, right? Between 2017 and 2018, homelessness increased. Okay, well, fine. The national counts have generally trended downwards, which is nice. So since 2007, for example, the year that we began collecting this data, homelessness decreased by 15%, which is huge. That's massive. That must mean that, of course, capitalism is working. Or it could mean something else. It actually means that we took a very, very strong stance against veterans, because homelessness is something that affects veterans disproportionately. In fact, 1 in 4 homeless people in America are veterans. If you didn't know that, now you know. So Obama and his administration took a very strong stance against that, and they reduced the amount of homeless veterans by 38% from 2007 to 2018, which of course is fantastic. That's a very good thing. But that has made a skewed position or a skewed version of the graph, in which now if you look at it, you're like, oh, wow, so homelessness is on the decline, when in fact one specific form of homelessness was on the decline, where other forms of homelessness are on the rise. And under Donald Trump, between 2017 and 2018, homelessness is once again universally back up on the rise. So, of course I'm... just incur debt. Why don't you just take on more debt, and or you can leverage any of the possessions within your house in order to take on more debt, such as why don't you just leverage your stove as collateral and other such things. And I mean, I could take that one step further. Why not just sell your possessions to a pawn shop? I mean, a pawn shop's open 24/7. You can go in there at any time, night or day, bring in your microwave and be like, hey, by the way, I can't eat right now because I can't pay rent. And the pawn shop will be like, well, of course, sir, I understand. And that's a tough position to be in. And I have a lot of sympathy for your environment and your situation. So I'm going to give you probably about 5% of the value of that item. And then I'm going to sell it at a surcharge of about 100% of what I sell it to you for. But yes, of course, this is tough times for both of us. And then, Mazatron, completely correct. Why not just sell your blood? In the US, you can sell your blood. You can also sell your semen. And I say, why have 2 kidneys? You don't need 2 kidneys to live. You can function perfectly well with one. Well, not perfectly well. It's a little bit more difficult. You can't really drink, and there's a lot of restrictions you can have in your diet. But hey, if you got 2 kidneys, sell one of your kidneys, make some money, get that sweet organ meat money, and then boom. Homelessness from 2016 onward is once again on the rise. As you see, the trend is now going backwards in this relation. And if I am again to look at some other statistics, numbers of households and shelters has risen in recent years, still from 2007, the same amount of time, to 2015. If we look at a small sample data, say from New York City, you can see that families and single adults are in the rise in shelters. So there's an increased need of shelters. So one of the last things to take from all this, okay? We can't just house the beautiful criminals. We can't only look to the incredibly, incredibly gorgeous and hypnotizing, members of the downtrodden. In April 2019, the government of Medicine Hat, yes, it's the real name of the town, in Alberta, instituted a housing-first solution to homelessness, which provided subsidized permanent housing for the homeless. Out of the 1,000 homeless individuals that inhabit the city, 885 of them were given homes just for free. No reason other than it came from all the money from taxes. And guess what? It had a net gain to society. Traditional refutation of a system like this comes from a deeply misplaced perception that giving handouts to homeless people supports laziness or a lack of self-control. This ignores systemic issues like institutionalized racial prejudice, unacceptable mental health care, and rampant income inequality, all of which are real things. And here's the best part. Alberta's Ministry of Human Services estimates that it costs about $100,000 Canadian every single year that a homeless person lives on the street, from unnecessary health, emergencies, justice services, police, all the kind of stuff that we try to keep those dirty vermin away from us and keep them, away from the rest of society. To house a homeless person, it costs $35,000. $35,000 versus $100,000.
Hey you, yes, you. Do you like cozy environments with other wholesome people? Well then come join the Discord. It's got a whole bunch of stuff to help you with creative endeavors, such as stock footage, royalty-free music, and an amazing community of people looking to help each other out and uplift your content. Join the Discord now by going to weareserfs.com. That's weareserfs.com.
We would like to thank Miranda Marone. You are our monarch, and we thank you for our indentured servitude. We would like to thank our lords, Ricky Pilgrim, I'm Raft, Michaela Schmid, Tomospin, Ferrer Tajon. You are all the pillars of our organization. To our Knights of the Square Table, Paul Parafit, Daniel Kahn, Clement Chutskoff, Alan R., Josh Mickelson, and Dr. Zayas, Cooper Pilot, Andrea Lynn Epperly, Dylan Bythe, Terry, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. And to our merchants, thank you for taking mercy upon us.